Aloha everyone. So today I wanted to talk about natural ways to reduce your screen time, and I feel like this is something that everybody can improve on. First thing I would recommend is sun gazing. I have an old video about this. On a physical level, it actually heals your eyesight, and this is not medical advice, just from my own experience. It actually healed my allergies. The reason why doctors tell you that the sun is bad for your eyes is because they're going to go out of business if you keep doing it. You just might activate your non-physical DNA and awaken your kundalini energy. Honestly, this practice is life-changing, and Christ was also a sun gazer and a yogi, so there's certain things that we can practice that allow us to be aligned with our highest timeline, and sun gazing is definitely one of them. Whenever it's sunny, I like to do it any time of the day. If you're starting out, I would recommend like sunrise, like early in the rising or at sunset. It's also recommended to be grounded because when you're sun gazing, you're bringing so much light energy and photons and activations from the sun into your body, and it can be very intense energetically if you're not grounded. I would recommend having your bare feet on the ground, working yourself up to being able to look at the sun any time of the day. It's called sun gazing, so a lot of people think it's like you're staring directly at the sun, but really what you're doing is just opening your eyes to receiving this light upgrade. Naturally, if you are sun gazing correctly, it's gonna activate your parasympathetic nervous system, and you're gonna feel that through the deepening of your breathing because it is energetically very intense. Once you realize your breathing slowing down, that's when the magic is actually happening. The alchemy is happening within. And we all have our inner sun, which is around the solar plexus area. It also suppresses your appetite because it gives you this natural energy, and that's the only reason why we should be eating food at this time, is because it's for energy. I don't really desire food unless it's like I haven't eaten all day. Fruit is honestly the thing that I crave the most. So something you might realize as you're going higher in your vibration is that you crave food less, because what we really need is energy from free energy, from nature, from the sun. It's free energy all around us, right? And the only reason why we eat is to sustain our physical body. But in the ancient times, in the golden age, they literally lived from crystalline energy and free energy. And I think it's hard for people to wrap our heads around that. They were literally giants that lived for thousands of years. When people realize like how far humans have fallen from our highest potential. The second thing I would recommend is this plant medicine called Sananga, which I have an old video on. It's basically an Amazonian plant medicine. It's a shamanic plant medicine, meaning that you have to go through this painful part to do this healing, right? It purifies your whole soul. Not only do you feel it in your solar plexus, you feel it in your heart, you feel it in your crown chakra. Basically, these eye drops that is made from the bark of a root, and it's a plant that grows in the Amazon. Traditionally, it was used to prepare the person to take ayahuasca because a lot of people do fasting, cleansing, and detox for it. And Sananga is something that cleanses your eyes, right? Because the eyes are a window to our soul. Sananga is something I've been taking for a long time, and I like to take it every new moon and full moon around that time, and I feel like it's like such a good energetic cleanse, especially now because I'm not in Hawaii, so I don't get to go to the ocean whenever I want. People who like have a lot of fire, if anger is like your first emotion, are the type of people that really need Sananga. So this is not sponsor affiliated, but I get mine from Chakra Openings, which I'm going to link in the description. You can get someone to help you, but I honestly do it by myself, and it is recommended to do both eyes at the same time. So what I do is lay on my back and get the dropper, right? Drop it in your eye, and as soon as you blink and the Sananga touches the air and it oxidizes, that's when it starts to burn, right? So if you're laying on your back with your eyes closed and you drop it on the outside of your lid, when you get it on both sides, you're gonna open both your eyes at the same time, and that's when the magic happens. It's like this fire alchemy that just burns all the impurities out of your eyes, and you can literally feel it like in your eye muscles, and it goes like into your head. And it's made from a root, right? So it really resets you all the way down to your root chakra. It gives you like this feeling of groundedness, and afterwards your eyes might be super sensitive, and it's recommended to go outside to look at far distances, and it just makes you not want to be on a screen, because if you are on your screen, you feel like your eyes reverting back to this old, I don't know how to explain it. I do want to add, it might be really intense at first, because when it's a fresh bottle and you just open it, that's when it's the most intense because it has the strongest potency. But over the months, it does like weaken a little bit, so it gets easier. So something I never do or had a problem with is scrolling on my phone right before bed. I hear about people doing that, and I feel like the best way to prevent it is to just not get on your phone after you shower at night. Like after I take a shower, I don't go on my phone anymore. I don't even have the overhead lights on. It's just so much nicer to have like warm mood lighting instead of this harsh overhead light, right? It's just unnatural. Unless I'm working on art or something and I'm trying to stay up. After I shower and do my nighttime routine, I have like a red light panel that I like to keep on, and I have a salt lamp and a selenite lamp. I don't use the overhead light because it disrupts your endocrine system and your hormones. The blue light from your phone also closes your pineal gland. It prevents your body from producing melatonin, which is the hormone that regulates our circadian rhythm, our sleep and wake cycle, what regulates our hormones, right? People don't realize that what we consume with our eyes gets imprinted in our subconscious. I think it's so important for us to be conscious consumers, because every time I go on social media, is always to post or always to create something. A lot of times, like if I do catch myself scrolling, I have like the daily reminder time limit set to 5 or 15 minutes. And honestly, when you're scrolling on the phone, it's like your lower self is pulling you in this thing, right? Into this void. If you can snap out of it, it's like your higher self stepping in and getting you to change this pattern, right? Because it's so comfortable to just sit there and bombard ourselves with this blue light and this cheap constant dopamine hits, right? It's free, but what is really wasting is our time, because this whole time, if everybody tapped into their creative gifts and everybody, instead of scrolling, did something creative, artistic, or it could be anything. It could be cooking, knitting, making music, making art. Everybody has a creative gift. When you were a child, what did you like to do? I know for me, I used to love drawing. I'm a Taurus moon and I love my sleep so much. Like, I don't think I prioritize my health so much that I don't know what is more interesting or more important. Like, nothing on my screen. Everybody's just so busy looking at other people's lives because they might not be satisfied with their own, right? All I can say is scrolling is gonna get you nowhere. It's just keeping you in the same exact spot. And if you wanna make a change, I would say to find something creative that you like to do instead of scrolling. The more we create, the less we have a desire to consume, right? Being creative, you're opening a channel between you and the Most High. And the more you consume, the more it clouds your own vision. If you're creative, you know you need alone time in order to have these moments of brilliance, right? To have these ideas come to us, and that only happens between us and Creator. When we make space for that, that's when it actually comes to us. If we're always on our phone looking down and not up, you're gonna be stuck in this lower self paradigm, right? If we explore our hobbies more and do things with our hands where we're actually grounded with this mind, body, and spirit connection, where we have to be fully present and engaged with what we're doing, it just makes you realize like consuming content blocks your own creativity. Because the more I paint and make jewelry and do things I really enjoy, you get this natural dopamine. Like when I finish making a necklace, or when I do a henna design, or when I finish a painting, it's a different kind of dopamine because you really worked for it and deserved it, right? And that's how we naturally are supposed to be. And nowadays, like the generation that grew up with their phones in their faces have no social skills. Like Gen Z is so afraid of eye contact. They don't like to have human connections because they're so used to interfacing with AI, right? And that's all part of the agenda. I think these children that are coming in are so advanced, and people need to raise them the right way for them to actually step into their gifts. I think that's all I wanted to share today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I highly recommend y'all getting Sananga because it's something that has been it's a plant that has really assisted me on my journey in terms of keeping me aligned with my highest self.